Good evening, everybody. Well, it may not be evening when you're watching this, but it's evening here where I am. And I'm just stepping out into my backyard as I like to do in the morning and in the evening, walking around, enjoying it. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about Sheaux Fresh and how we started. It makes sense to talk about this while walking around my backyard and in my garden because that's literally how our business started. Really, it was my husband's garden. He worked in fine dining for years, which can be super stressful, tiring, aggravating. And so he always created a garden wherever we lived. And he would just go out there and plant things, grow things. He got to be really good at it. And it was just a place that was peaceful for him and enjoyable. And he just really liked getting his hands in the dirt and growing things. And of course, I liked having all the great, fresh, healthy food right in my backyard. He started the first garden when we had our first child, and so that's when I first started making baby food. I would make her carrots, green beans, just different things that could go in the blender. Whatever we ate, she ate. I would just put hers in the blender and make fresh baby food for her, which saved us a lot of money. And he continued having a garden as our children were young, but we would have so much food and they were so little we couldn't eat all of that food. We'd freeze it, he'd make pickles, we'd do what we could, but we ended up giving a lot away to friends and family. And then sometimes they'd give it away to their other friends and family who would then request it and ask for it from us. And a few people suggested we start selling produce. And our first sale was actually to the chef at the restaurant where my husband worked. We sold at a little cafe that was near our kids' school because the owner loved that we had fresh food out there. So we would sell there, I think, on Tuesday afternoons. And eventually a good friend of ours who has a store on Bayou Road called King and Queen Emporium, she invited us out to sell in front of her store. And we've essentially been there ever since. And I think we started out there probably in 2011. We really existed as a pop-up. We would be there on Saturdays. And then we started doing deliveries during COVID. And that was really cool. But then when the other grocery stores opened, our sales fell off. So we went back to the pop-up again. And we have recently, earlier this summer, moved into our first brick and mortar location, which is right just a little bit down the block from our original spot. So we used to be at 2500 Bayou Road on the corner of North Durgeois, and now we're just a little bit down the block a little bit on 1434 North Durgeois in Tremay. So while we're walking around my garden, you might see that it's a little bit of organized chaos. That's because this is my garden. This is not my husband's garden. My husband is very organized. His plants are in rows. He plants in succession. He does things a specific way. He's really skilled and talented at growing lots of different things. My garden is a place for me to chill, enjoy myself. I try not to get too bound to the results. This is my basil, though. I'm about to cut that and put that in my dinner this evening with some pasta. But yeah, I like to chill in my garden. It's a place for me to relax. And so I don't get too tied up in doing things an exact way. So my way may not be the best for you, but I like it because it's a place for me to chill. That's one thing that I did really learn from my husband, that a garden is a great place to just go, relax, take your time. For me, I pray often in the garden. I feel like God put us in a garden in the first place. So that's really where we're supposed to be. I almost always have my shoes off. I walk around the yard as long as, it's not too cold outside, barefoot. And so now I'm just walking from the garden toward the back of our yard where the big trees are. And this is our orange tree. Unfortunately, a lot of times the birds and the squirrels get to the oranges and the flowers and stuff before they can really blossom. But these are the best tasting oranges I've ever had in my life. I can't take credit. The tree was here when we bought the house, but these oranges are delicious. I love them every season, and the season is coming up soon for us. You may not know that Louisiana grows a lot of citrus. Florida's known for citrus, but it mainly goes into juices, whereas in Louisiana, especially in Plaquemine Parish, which is like 20-25 minutes away from us, they grow all kinds of citrus, and it's really, really good. So, just getting back to Sheaux Fresh, this is not the house where we originally were with that first big garden that my husband did. And I'm sure we'll put up some more videos and things showing that old house when the kids were little. And this is just my garden. We've actually grown so much that we've had to partner with farmers in the area, because we do live in the city. We live in New Orleans, and so we have a pretty big yard for living in a city, but it's not big enough to have a whole farm to stock a grocery store. And so we do partner with local and regional farmers, and my husband knows them all, and he's riding up and down I-10 and the highways and different things, picking up produce and things like that. I'm just walking over here to some little hibiscus trees that I started. I really just cut the branches off from that tree that I was showing in the beginning of the video. These didn't do so well. That's the second round. The ones on the left were the first round. But then over here, I cut some bigger branches and put them in a bucket, and only one did really well. You can see, I'm going to show you in a second, the roots that pulled up, and I'm actually going to put that in some dirt tomorrow and give it to my daughter. But that's really it. And then I love these peppers. We're back at the beginning. They look like the Christmas lights that you hang outside. That's it. Thanks for spending a little time walking around the garden with me.